Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Aaron for 20, bringing you guys my BBL Week 7 game versus Darude, coach of the San Jose Panquakes, who, by the way, has a really fucking amazing logo that he got commissioned for this season, specifically for this season, around a meme in a league I actually took part in and had the pleasure of taking part in. It wasn't a channel league, but it was a league run by my good pal Ultra Player. It was a very clean logo, though. You guys will definitely see it on the thumbnail, of course. But, of course, while I'm already talking about channels, make sure to check out everyone, of course, in the BBL. Links in the description below. Now, into the team this week. First off, actually, before we get into the team, I want to apologize for the Week 6 upload not going up. And also for BBL being so delayed. BBL got delayed because of a lot of IRL stuff. And then I mentioned it in Week 6 upload. Both times I tried recording it. And then both times I deleted the recording. First time because came out really badly. Second time there was a lot of lag, and after the second time recording it, it was actually kind of funny because I was like, you know, I'm just gonna upload this just because I want to get it up. So I delete the replay for Week 6, and then like 2 days later I'm like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna re-record this. So I deleted the video, recycled it, and then realized that I don't actually have the replay to go off of for Week 6 anymore. And I also deleted it off of my DS when I cleared all my replays, thinking I had all my replays in Citra. So because of that, I can't even like pull it up again because I don't have the code to go off of anymore. So basically, I'll summarize that game. We prepped poorly with Pikachu. We didn't bring Light Ball. Because of that, we couldn't really break Suiken that well because I brought a meme Pikachu set instead of an actual like special Pikachu that could have broken through his team really well. Because of that, Suiken ended up pressuring our team a lot. We ended up losing because of that. Rayquaza cleaned up in the end versus my superior, which was my last one left. I lost a lot of Leaf Storms, which is a lot of setup options because the Suiken got too dangerous, and because Pikachu ended up not being able to handle it because it got Scald Burned. And I was physical Pikachu with a Z-Dig as a Coco counter, and I got too chipped anyway, focusing on Suicune. So again, we lost just basically to poor Pikachu prep. But yeah, Week 7 though, this will be a very quick team builder, by the way, guys. I know I've been rambling in the beginning, but this team builder, basically what happened was, this week I was dealing with a lot of medical stuff. There was a lot of other plans going on. I waited way too long to build. I was building like Friday night. I was like, okay, front office, here's what we're going to do. I have my Mega Mawile, and I have my Scolipede prepped. I don't give a fuck what we bring. I don't know what else to bring to a stall matchup on my team. You guys plan the rest. Whatever you guys plan, I'll bring. They didn't respond. So I was like, shit, I play in a couple of hours. KMJ, you want to build my team? KMJ sent me a really, really fun team to build. Then my front office got back to me. And my front office, I did ask first, so I figured they had priority. So sorry, KMJ. It's not a KMJ Mons week. If we clinch playoffs, I'll let you build my entire team for Week 12. I think we play Quinn Week 12, so that'll be a fun game if we can meme for that, because I think Quinn will also probably clinch playoffs by then. I think, spoilers, we're like in Week 10 of BBL right now. I'm prepping for my game versus Blue at this very moment. I'm pretty sure we've clinched playoffs. I'm pretty sure Quinn will have also clinched playoffs by then. I think Quinn is the same record as me, just slightly lower differential. If not, he's like 1 win behind me. The point being, I'd be shocked if we haven't clinched playoffs by Week 12, so we'll probably meme, because there's a good chance we could end up playing in playoffs. So because of that, I may very well ask you to KMJ Mons that game for me, KMJ. But yeah, I did at least keep your nickname though. I'll go over the 2 Mons that matter, the only 2 Mons that matter. First up being Vergi, our new Mawile nickname. I changed it to Vergi because, you know, I needed something to go right, because clearly Mega Jesus had not been putting in any sort of work on my team, really. It's just been switching in, getting intimidates, maybe like 1 kill a game, a little bit of pressure, not really doing a lot. So I figured, you know, new name, new Mon, etc. I need to rebrand. So Vergi, our Mega Mawile, has Crunch, Play Off, Thunder Punch, and Swords Dance. This moveset hits his entire team perfect. I have 212 speed. This is meant to outspeed his entire team at +2, including Scarfers, Adamant Nature, of course, with 140 attack, meant to break through every sort of fat piece of shit the Druid has on his team, such as Toxapex, Giratina, Chansey, which he all brought, by the way. He also had Shadow Attack Goth, which is another thing. Shadow Attack Goth was a big part in why I didn't want to run Sucker Punch this week, because if he was, let's say, Coldberry, and he had, actually, Goth wasn't the main reason, but it definitely is, it definitely, I guess, gives a more of a reason to it, because Playoff, well, I could have hit with Playoff and just set up SD. Combine Goth was a reason to at least not run Sucker Punch. Also, Agility Mega Metagross was another reason to not run Sucker Punch, because if I let that thing Agility, if I'd taken a little bit of chip on my Mega Mawile, that would have been very dangerous. Also, because Crunch is more anyway. Crunch actually with 140 attack guaranteed kill. If I was to invest for Sucker Punch to kill, I would have had less bulk, and that would have potentially put me in range of an Adamant Mega Metagross Earthquake, which could have been very terrifying for my team to play. because if that thing got to +2 on my Sucker Punch, and then I couldn't hit with Sucker Punch, and then I didn't kill, depending on his bulk investment, he could potentially kill me off, and it was just a whole nightmare. I didn't want to risk it, so I invested for a no boosted, so even if I can't get a Swords Dance up, my Crunch should be killing, unless that's ridiculously defensive Mega Metagross, which in that case, he shouldn't be doing enough damage to me anyway. So that regardless is going to be solid for Mega Mawile. Thunder Punch +2 will guarantee breakthrough Pex, Player Off will breakthrough Chansey, and then we have the mon that's going to help us pass into that. We have Scolipede with Earthquake Sub, Dawn Pass Toxic. I have Toxic just in case if this thing is like versus Chansey or something, or versus Giratina, just because obviously Earthquake isn't doing shit to them. Earthquake is really just to hit Circuitry, because Circuitry is like the one thing that could potentially scary, because I don't want that thing setting up on my Scolipede, as that could be terrifying. Otherwise though, this thing is really just meant to Toxic and pass, and that's really it. So other than that though, let's get right into the actual game itself this week. Really, I had a designated lead because it helped with any sort of lead that Druid could want to go for, that lead being Tornadus Eye. Because Tornadus Eye, of course, I do have Taunt this week on my spread. I figured I could Taunt no matter what lead he goes for, and then just U-turn out. He actually decides he's going to lead off with Scarlet, his Toxapex. So Harvey here is going to get a pretty free Taunt, because he either stays in, goes for something like T-Spikes, he switches out, or he goes for like Scald, and if he went for Scald, that still wouldn't do anything to me. So he actually goes into Xurkitree here. This is really solid for us, but it's also very terrifying, because I can Taunt here. This will stop any sort of Tail Glow shenanigans. On the downside though, if he is a Scarf Xurkitree, then I just let a Scarf Xurkitree incoming completely for free, and I need to switch into Ragel Hour DNC, which is our only mon that can really take a hit from a Xurkitree, like, really well. He does go for Thunderbolt here, of course, and as you can see, we do take the hit fairly well. We can take another hit. We cannot switch in anymore, however, because he's going to be plowing through my team regardless. So he actually does go into Bloop here. His Chansey is perfectly fine. I get off a Trick Room here. I figure that Trick Room was pretty free because it allows me to beat the Xurkitree 1v1 at the very least, assuming it's not Sash Xurkitree. Even if it is Sash Xurkitree, I can bring in Mega Mawile and pick it off later. Another thing also is that it does allow me to get up my rocks versus his team pretty free, because I'm going to underspeed everything besides like Toxapex, for example. Even if Toxapex does outspeed me, that's perfectly fine. I don't necessarily mind. He's going to set up Toxic Spikes versus me, which again, perfectly fine. I do have a Scolipede switch in no matter what. I'm going to actually Trick Room up here again because I want to clear the minus speed, because I figured if Pex is just going to try and set up Toxic Spikes versus my team, then this is pretty free to just go into Scolipede. I can go into Scolipede and potentially pass. He is, of course, going to be staying in with his Pex right here, and he is going to be going for another, well, he's going to go for a Liquidation here, which him going for Liquidation, I thought he went for T-Spikes first, by the way, which is why I said again, but him going for Liquidation here is actually extremely beneficial to me. So I go for the sub here, of course. Him not having Scald is pretty huge. My Mega Mawile is invested 7 Pex. Uninvested cannot break my Scald anyway. Liquidations can be doing even less because Mega Mawile is a lot more Fizz Def and Intimidate as well. So with the fact that he doesn't have Scald, however, if my sub does get broken, he can't actually burn my Mega Mawile, which is pretty fucking huge. I'm going to Speed Pass right here because I don't want to risk the Haze, because I am, of course, trying to set up on Pex. And in case he does have Haze, then I don't want to risk that. I figured he would have went for it now, and I figured that at the very least I can get a sub past in my Mega Mawile pretty freely here, and it's not going to get broken by a potential Liquidation next turn. He, however, does actually go for the Liquidation right now, and that, of course, you know, I'm going to live through my sub. The fact that he didn't go for Haze here was pretty huge for me, because at the very least I'm going to be able to Mega Evolve here and go for a Swords Dance and just start breaking through his team. Him not clicking Haze, in my opinion, says he does not have it. He has Toxic Spikes, Liquidation, probably Recovery, and I'm not even sure what else his fourth move would have been, if I'm being completely honest. But I'm completely shocked he has not went for Haze at this point in the game, because I'm now at +2 attack, +1 speed Mega Mawile, and he is more concerned with trying to break my sub at this point than actually trying to clear my setup. I'm not sure why he didn't just click Haze here. However, at this point, I'm +2 attack and +1 speed. That's all I really need the sub for, just get set up. He's going to hard swap in his Giratina here, of course. This is his only way to take a Thunder Punch on his team, really. So, of course, he's going to go for the Thunder... Well, I'm going to go for the Thunder Punch. Realize that between the rocks and the Thunder Punch damage, he is certainly in range of the +2 player off, even if he's like Roselli Berry or something. So, I'm going to go for player off here, of course, and it's going to Oko this Giratina. So, he can't even, like, potentially Will-O-Wisp burn me, which is very huge for me. Because now, unless if he's, like, Incineroar with a Choice Scarf and specifically Sped Crab, this is sort of investment, which in that case go my opponent. Even then, I'm pretty sure I outspeed a +1 Incineroar regardless. I'm going to go for playoff here, however, because I figured regardless of his Incineroar spread, it's a pretty free hit. If he goes into Mega Metagross, which is, in my opinion, what he should have done, either that or Toxapex, he could have done that and then doubled an Incineroar, cleared my +2 attack boost, and then that could have helped him potentially take hits a lot better if he went to Pex, because Pex would have been able to potentially revenge me off with Liquidation later on in the game. You'll see why this is important right now, because he goes into Mega Metagross, of course. With my speed, I'm not meant to outspeed this thing at +1. I'm only meant to outspeed this thing at +2. So he's going to get a pretty free Meteor Mash here, of course. Boost his attack. It really doesn't matter, though, because my +1 Crunch is still going to annihilate this Mega Metagross. If a +2 is almost guaranteed to take it out, +1, of course, I'm going to 100% take out any sort of defensive Mega Metagross possible. At this point, he does go into Toxapex here, aka Scarlet. At +1, I should still be able to OHKO this thing with Thunder Punch regardless. Thunder Punch was doing around 70, even to a no, well, even with no boost. So this Toxapex, of course, is going to just dip right here. So at this point in the game, all he has left on his team is Chansey and Xurkitree. Now, why he hasn't brought in the Xurkitree yet, I have no idea, because Xurkitree would have potentially been able to outspeed my set. At the very least, it's sort of all he had left, because he could have potentially tried to just go into Xurkitree, risk it, see if he could outspeed me and kill, and then have his regen core to potentially fall back on later in the game. That would have been the smart play. Of course, I feel like Darude probably expected that I sped crept to Xurkitree with my Mega Mawile. And also, not only that, but I feel like that Darude probably anticipated me just, you know, it seems like, in my opinion, that Darude probably just thought this was endgame and was just stacking mons at this point, which, in that case, I mean, that's very fair. But I really couldn't outspeed the Xurkitree if I wanted any chance at living a hit from Mega Metagross, and I figured that was the more ideal thing, because he could potentially just go for, of course, like a Z Hypnosis or even be a Scarf set, and I wouldn't outspeed that anyway at +1. So that's sort of why I didn't do that, but I felt like Darude kind of choked not going into Xurkitree and then playing off of that plus regen and wall with Chansey Pex. That could have been very terrifying for me, as Mega Mawile is my main way to break those this week. Of course, I did have Hoopa and Bound, and that could have potentially broken through Chansey too, in a way. It would have definitely broken through Pex at the very least, and if I got the speed boosted, I could have potentially broken through Xurkitree as well. However, it didn't really seem to matter in the end, because regardless, I still could have at the very least gotten necessary chip on other mons, actually won through. It would have just been a much longer game. So I do appreciate Darude at least saving me time in this game and just sacking all his mons. So we did win that game 6-0 versus a 5-1 team, of course. So that's a very huge win for us, getting a 6-0 win. Next game is going to be up versus Ultra Player. I'm going to try and get that up tomorrow. At the very least, I'm going to get it up for Thursday. I might skip tomorrow's upload just because I'm going to be streaming tomorrow night. I'm going to be streaming. It might even be morning tomorrow. Point is, probably tomorrow I'm going to be having a stream. So make sure to check that out, actually. I'm going to start linking my Twitch down low, twitch.tv/AR2420YT, because I'm going to start trying to stream a lot more, probably at least 3 times a week. And I'm going to try to upload a lot more as well. If you guys did enjoy, however, though, leave a like down below. It really helps out a lot. Of course, comment down below. I think we're already confirmed for playoffs. I'm not going to ask if you think we're going to be confirmed for playoffs. Next game is versus Ultra. It was a very, very fun game to play. I will see you guys, though, in that upload. Peace out.